Hello, Mighty Elks. This is Jeff Rohde, principal here at the Mighty Elkhorn Middle School. I'm sure you've heard from the board meeting a little bit ago that we are starting virtually this year. So we wanted to share with you our plan. How are we going to start virtually this year in phase one, as the district calls it? So we've kind of written out the plan on the board here. So I'm going to go through it with you, try to cover as much as I can. And hopefully answer some of the questions that you've had starting from even last year all the way through the summer as this option became more of a reality. A couple things just to throw out there to begin is even from the start last spring, once we got into sort of this virtual world through NTI, we've already been looking at where our areas of deficit were. What did we need to do better when we came back in August if we did start virtually? One thing I'll tell you right now is a shout out to all the teachers. They have been working incredibly hard over the summer to become better virtual classroom teachers. And that is part of what we have to do better this time, is we have to understand that we've got to be better virtually as a school, as teachers, but we also are going to need students to be better virtually as students. It's just different mentality for the time that we have to live in this scenario, okay? So I'm going to run through what we landed on as our plan and go through this. So number one, students. I just said, what do you have to do differently this time? Okay. One thing is you've got to be organized. All right. We're not there. It's not like you're walking into a classroom and we hand you the plan for the day. You're going to have to kind of take that first step every day in order for this to work. You're going to have to understand that you're going to be following a schedule. All right. NTI, we kind of just laid out, do these contents. You know, do your math this day, do your reading this day. Well, now we're going to be following a schedule, so it's going to be important that you follow that schedule along at home as you would as if you were here. There are going to be deadlines, all right? It's not like NTI where you can just turn in 10, assignments at one time via packet or online. That's not going to be the case. Certain things are going to be due at a certain day, and you've got to make sure you're up on that and getting it done. Next thing is we're going to be graded on content, all right? It's not just you turning stuff in and getting credit for turning it in. It's going to be what you turned in, mostly going back to the quizzes and the tests that we had before here. Our policy is 80-20, 80% summative, 20% formative is how your grade's calculated, okay? So this is big for you. You're going to have to get better at these things. Here's the good news. A lot of colleges are online these days. A lot of job trainings are online these days. So these are skills you're going to need for later in life, maybe even into high school if you take some virtual classes. Second thing we're going to need you to do, students, advocate. We've got to know what problems you're having, okay? We can't read your minds from here to your house. So you've got to let us know, all right? You've got to email your teachers. And I'm going to explain to you, too, what we learned from the spring that we're going to do better in the fall to help you when you do advocate, all right? So these are two things, parents, students, that we got to work on in order for them to be successful to start. So what we landed on is that if we looked at what we did in the spring and how we wanted to open the fall, what issues were there, we felt strongly that an A-B day schedule was going to be the most supportive way to students and their families to open up the school year. So basically, one of the days is going to be an A day. The next day is going to be a B day. We're going to follow a very simple schedule. If Monday's an A day, Tuesday's a B day, Wednesday's an A day, Thursday's a B day, Friday's an A day. We end on a Friday, we start on a B day. All right? It's an easy thing to understand. You'll get the rhythm of it, and it pays off in the end. So, on an A day, you're going to have classes on your schedule that say period 1, 2, and 3. Right? They're going to run about an hour each. Okay, so B day, you would start on your schedule with your fourth period, 4, 5, 6, all right, running about an hour each. This is very important. We will get into a rhythm of this. Again, this is part of your organization to follow your schedule. It won't take you very long to get the hang of it. Just like last year, it didn't take long to get the hang of. Today was a math day, and the next day was a reading day. We eventually got the hang of it. All right? So classes are about an hour, at 11:40 to 12:40 for students. You get an hour break to get away from your computers, get up and move around, go outside, do something other than, go watch TV or go jump on a video game, all right? You get a nice hour break in there, students, okay? At 12:45, this is going to be where we really wanted to provide this year an opportunity for what is important that day or now. Simply because we know that when you start providing all this work, there certain needs come up, and it's difficult to address those needs when you're in a class and you're teaching. So we thought that this time right here, we're going to call it our student support time. So that's where teachers are going to be reaching out to kids to either do tutoring. That is where we have basically our office hours. This is where we'll be reaching out to families about work getting completed or how the progress of a child's going. But basically, or also if you reach out to us, this would be a great time. This is when teachers would be available to answer your calls or return your emails. But basically, this is kind of our community time. This is where we come together in order to do what's best for your child to get them successful in this virtual world. We're very excited. We have a laundry list of things we've given to teachers that they can do during this time, but all of it is geared towards supporting the parents, supporting the students through this time. Additional supports that we are still working on is ESS. We are working on the possibility of providing teachers that would be available in the evenings for families that needed help in case they got home and some work wasn't completed. We are also working on allowing some students in the building at times to get help if they need it. Of course, we would start small and we would expand from there depending on how well we're doing with our safety guidelines, all right? So this is going to be our day. Once again, we're going to be on A day on one day, and the next day will be a B day, and it'll just continue to rotate, right? A days are 1 through 3, B days are periods 4, 5, and 6, all right? This is really important right here, though. This is where we talked about this. So when students, you're having trouble with your assignments, you're not knowing how to do the math, you're struggling, this is where you let a teacher know, and during this time, they will call you, they will reach out to you in order to tutor you or better support you and be successful, all right? So part of our learning from the spring was how could we better support families? How could we better support, especially the parents? You know, you parents, you were out there, you were trying to help your kids, right? But when was the last time you were in 8th grade math, right? When was the last time you took 6th grade science? You know, it was a long time ago. And a lot of times, you know, just because of that NTI, we posted the assignment and there was some confusion on how to do it. We get all that. We understood that as well. So we've really gone and planned a better attack for how we're going to support the whole family as they go through this NTI. So we still will use the Google Classroom. Students are familiar with that, so it's a way to keep it going. But some additional supports. With each new lesson a teacher posts, they're going to have videos of them teaching that lesson, so you can always refer back to that. You're also going to have supplemental material, so additional items that better support the child to be successful. And then we are going to be using an online program called Edmentum. Okay, this is where a majority of our work will be turned in. We know we had a lot of issues with turning in work via Google Classroom last year. So Edmentum is a platform that's built for this, and it allows us to, students to take quizzes and tests on there, and it kind of imports the scores for us. So this will be a big part of their day, is Edmentum. It also is a good support for parents because Edmentum operates like a textbook, so you can kind of read through the textbook and see what it is that they're supposed to know. Each class will start with a Google Meet or a Zoom, depending on the teacher preference. So at 8:40, first period, that teacher will post the link to a Zoom or Google Meets on their Google Classroom. Students can click on it. 8:40 to 9 o'clock, the teacher will be live with those kids, answering questions, going over the lesson, hopefully allowing them to work for the next 40 minutes to get ahead and get done. But whatever they don't get done there, they can use this time to get done. So this will be something that will be mandatory. Our teachers are much better at this. I myself didn't even know what Zoom was when we went to NTI last year. So, but now, you know, we use it all the time, and so they're very comfortable with it now. So you'll see a dramatic increase in Zoom and Google Meets to help students. Okay. Some other items. We know that you're probably wondering your schedules. Ms. Fryer, our counselor, Ms. Robinson, are both working hard to get those done. We had to wait until we knew how we were beginning because it was very different scheduling for those two needs. So they are getting wrapped up here shortly, and we'll let you know. Chromebook distribution will happen after the 12th. Once we kind of teachers report, we are working on a very similar model to how we took the Chromebooks back. We fixed them all over the summer. Our tech staff here worked incredibly hard to get all the Chromebooks fixed and ready to go. We will send that out on the Chromebook distribution dates and times at a later date. Lastly, this is really important because going back to this, we are not going to be handing out packets, okay? Unless you have a medical exemption and a doctor's note saying that your child cannot be on a computer, packets will not be available, okay? This is the big change, right? They must be virtual. So internet access and a reliable internet, we need to know in the event that if you're watching this using your data because at home you don't have reliable internet or internet at all, please call us, because we have some ways to help you. We have hotspots we can give you, loan to you during this time. We just need to know, though, okay? Because once we get started, it might be harder to get them going, and I don't want the kids to get behind. So internet access is huge. We need to know if you are having trouble or if you know of people that have trouble, okay? This is kind of quick for some people, who knows, right? But, please feel free to review. Again, we're going to be doing A day, B day, okay? 3 periods a day. We definitely want to reuse this time right here. This is really crucial. This is a time where we come together as a community and decide, what do we need now? What needs did not get addressed in the spring that we absolutely want to do better at? We're going to knock it out right here, okay? Please share this video with others on Facebook. This will be on our Facebook. This will be on our website. We are going to send out an email today referring to this video. We're going to be sending out a one-call referring to this video today. So please share this on Facebook with everybody you know that has a child that goes here. And if you have questions, you can call us, email us. But we're going to get ready to have an amazing start. I know it's a little weird, kind of start to a normal school year, but we're ready. And we're going to get you all ready, and we're going to knock this out. I hope everybody's doing well. We'll see you soon, Mighty Community.